Let me tell you a story about Evan Todd. He tried to make it as clear as possible. He wrote a letter to Barack Obama, and in it he outlined why he vehemently disagrees with the president on gun control. Now, imagine, how many letters does a president see? Well, he sees a lot, and he always talks about them, but this one he's not going to talk about. This one stands out. Not just because what's in it, but because of who the author is and what he's been through. We don't know Evan, but we know the event that he was a part of. On April 20th, 1999, Evan Todd was in the school library studying. He was 15 years old and attending Columbine High School. He was the very first student shot in the library, and he saw 12 of his friends and classmates violently lose their lives during one of the worst school massacres in history. 5 years prior to the massacre, let's remember, the federal government enacted an assault weapons ban. Evan wrote to President Obama, "The assault weapons ban didn't deter these two murderers, nor did the other 30-something laws that they broke." The letter is detailed and outlines many of the problems with the president's proposed executive orders and renewal of the '94 assault weapons ban. Evan takes issue with almost everything from universal background checks to assault weapons to magazine limits, and concludes, "Why, Mr. President, would you prefer criminals to have the ability to outgun law-abiding citizens? Just whose side are you on?" It is a very good question. Whose side are you on? Right and wrong, common sense, good and evil. They strongly indicate what side freedom is on. I wanted to put Evan on the show tonight. He published this letter exclusively on The Blaze yesterday, and he just began doing interviews. And I think it is interesting to watch the media now. The media has a very clear line, and they always have. You do not badmouth trauma victims. But let's see how long this lasts with the media that sides with the progressive agenda. Evan Todd, Columbine High School shooting survivor, who penned the letter to Barack Obama. Welcome to the program, sir.
Thank you. It's an honor to be here. Thank you.
Can you tell me, how can I ask this? Sandy Hook felt horrible to all of us, but we didn't go through what you did. What was the day of Sandy Hook shooting like for you?
It's like living it all over again. The same feelings that I had going through the day that Columbine happened. It's the same exact thing watching it unfold. It's the fear, the not knowing what's going to happen, the helplessness, and just watching it unfold and knowing that there'll be innocent lives that are killed.
The killers at Columbine didn't kill you, obviously. No. Why? How did you convince them?
Well, when they came up to me, they asked, "Why shouldn't we kill you?" And I told them, "I've been good to you and everyone in this school, and you know it." And at that point, Dylan was down close to me, pointing a gun at my head, and he slowly got up, took a step back, and his facial expression actually changed and decided to let me live. He told Eric, "You can kill him if you want," but Eric didn't do anything, and they left.
Today we're going to talk with Bill O'Reilly and Dr. Dobson about the lack of concern for life and this deadening of our society. You are concerned about this. Why? What are you seeing, and what do you think it is?
Well, that was one of my first reactions after Columbine. Immediately was, how can somebody do this? How can somebody go into a school and viciously murder innocent people? And just a lack of respect for life. And then I wondered, where did that come from? And it was evident that it came from our culture and what is put out there in our culture, and everything from the video games to even abortion plays a huge subconscious factor in the value of human life.
You're a very brave person, because you say this kind of stuff on You know, I think you're on with Anderson Cooper, who actually is a decent guy. I like Anderson, but you're on with him tonight, and God forbid you go on Piers Morgan. They're going to hammer you. They're going to hammer you. You're kook for saying that.
What, that human life is precious?
Oh, no, that it's the video games and abortion.
Well, you know, those aren't definitively, I don't think that's the entire reason things like this happen, obviously.
Right.
But those definitely play a factor.
So when you saw the president snap into action right away and start blaming it on guns, when did you decide to write the letter? When did you know you had to write this letter?
Well, it had been building up. I was trying to find a way to share my message, and opportunity presented itself, and that's when I went with it. But it was something that just over and over, time and time again, these tragedies happen, and it's sickening that they jumped straight into the gun debate. And instead, the very first thing we need to do is protect human life and defend it, and allow people, well, not even allow, it's their right to defend their life.
Is there anything in particular that sticks out to you that that you see in all the gun control stuff that's happening, that you say, this is nuts?
Well, yeah, point by point, the initiatives that Obama put forward, it clearly hinders the average American citizen from protecting themselves. It makes it harder to get a gun. It makes it more expensive to get a gun. It makes it, with the magazines limit, it makes it less valuable to have a gun with a larger capacity. All these things hinder an American citizen from protecting themselves. At the same time, it enables criminals on the other side.
People will say that, because I've heard it, and it's crazy, but people say to me, and I've heard it on television, you know what? When they have to reload, that's when you take a ballpoint pen and get them. You're in a school, you were in a lunchroom, or you were in the library. Why didn't you hit them over the head with a book, or why didn't you hit them over the head with a lamp, or get them with a pen while they reloaded?
Well, that was the little known fact that I don't share about my story is the reason I was standing up when Eric and Dylan came through that front door is I had a feeling that either one, if they came around a corner, I'd try and do something, or two, I'd run. And the fact is, when it comes down to it and you're in a unilateral firefight, you stand no chance against a weapon.
No, but you wait until they have to reload. That's what the media will tell you. You wait until they have to reload, and then you get them.
It's bizarre.
Okay. Thank you so much for speaking out, and I appreciate what you must have gone through in the last month or so, and I can't imagine it. But I appreciate you standing up and defending everybody's right to defend themselves. Did you, before we go, did you have an epiphany on this? Have you always been somebody, even as a kid? Did you grow up with guns, or did something change in you?
No, nothing really changed in me. I grew up in the Boy Scouts, shooting BB guns and 22s, and then I went through NRA, certification. Sure. Moved on to shotguns, and I was around them all the time. And it's something that was taught that these are lethal weapons that need to have a healthy respect for and used properly, and on the gun side. And so I've really had the same opinions, even though I wasn't in the gun debate realm before Columbine. I didn't even know what the gun debate was. You a religious guy? Yeah. I just wanted, you kind of speak like you are. I didn't know if you were or not. I don't mean that as a slam, obviously, but right. You sound like a religious guy who believes in God. Yes, sir. God bless you. I believe in Jesus Christ, my Lord and Savior. Thank you so much, Evan. Appreciate it. God bless you. Thank you. You bet. God bless. Back in, I just wrote when he said that, I reminded of that interview. What was it on? Was it on CNN where they started doing scriptures and the person started breaking out in sweat, and they're like, no,
God, people are crazy. And they couldn't cut away fast enough. It was MSNBC this week. They couldn't cut away fast enough. And I remember the first time that I ever talked about God on television, it made me sweat because I knew what people upstairs were thinking about it. And it's too bad, because that's what stops us from defining good or evil. Back in a minute.